Hello, my name is Ethan McKeon, and so here I'm going to be talking about 2020 and how it kind of changed my life and my perspective on it. So first off, let's talk about the beginning of the year. Beginning of 2020. '20 began coming off from winter break, my senior year of high school, coming in, so like hearing about COVID stuff, just very little, just like stuff over from China, just like little things and thinking, it was very obvious that, like, thinking back then, it was like, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna be a thing that's going to come to America. It's not gonna affect us at all. Just kind of relaxing, just normal. The world was in a state of normality. It was completely different now, thinking about it. Thinking back, it's completely different than how it was now. Coming to March, I remember a very specific day. I think it might have been my last day, or the same week as when we got sent home. So in March, I was sitting in my math class. I was sitting on, I think, one of the tables, kind of just doing some work with a group, and then I went. We were just chatting and talking about COVID, or I guess back then we called it Corona, a lot more reference to the alcohol. And coming off from that, we were just chatting and thinking like, we're never gonna get sent home. Cases started to rise a bit. It started to hit us, but it was like, it's never gonna affect us. It's gonna be fine. We're never gonna get sent home. Little did we know. Oh, very little did we know. More or less that same week, we get sent home. Oh. It was the beginning of change for the school, of trying to do things online, and the start of the Zoomer generation. Using Zoom. Cannot imagine how much their stocks have risen during COVID. Zoom was interesting to use. I remember we didn't use Zoom at the beginning. It was using, for the school, it was using this different program that we used a lot. And we were able to set up a meeting, and for my broadcasting class, we got together, we had some chats with each other, talking about some stuff, and we also were able to get on a meeting with, our teacher set up a meeting with an experienced veteran out in the field of like broadcasting and media, and we were able to chat with him on a call. We were still able to try to do something with school even though we were all at home. I feel bad for those teachers trying to do all this new stuff, trying to figure out, okay, how can we try to continue the school year going into this time of great difficulty. I was a senior, so I'd be graduating in May, so we got through the rest of March. April flew by. It was basically the early summer break, and the school was trying to figure out, how can we give these seniors something to send them off with in this trying times. They were able to manage it somehow. We were able to drop off any necessary school supplies that we had. They got it figured out fairly well, I would think, from what I saw, where we would drive up, they would have people outside wearing masks, and we would just hand them the stuff. And for us seniors, we went around back and picked up our gowns and any necessary awards that we got that would also be attached to our apparel. So then our graduation, and so they had to split it up to keep They couldn't have us in a crowd. They couldn't have us all in the stadium together. So they split us up into days. And so we each went in on our own separate day to to walk. The only people I could bring was me and my mom and dad were able to come in with me. It was not drenched rain, but it was drizzling a bit. It wasn't pleasant, but it didn't ruin anything, and the ground wasn't mucky either, which was really nice. We had to wait in line, but we were still able to get our names called out over the stadium PA, and we were able to walk up onto our little stage, shake our hands of our principal of the school. For what they did, what they provided, I say that was a good graduation. And my rest of my family was able to show up. They were outside the stadium cheering me on, and I just remember like they were one of the loudest people there screaming outside the stadium, and my principal looked at me, he's like, "They all here for you?" I was like, "Yeah." And after that, I officially graduated high school to go into summer break, where kind of did nothing except wait. So during summer break, kind of almost did nothing. It was tranquil, nice. Barely did much of anything. My parents were trying to keep us busy with doing stuff around the house. Like, it was summer and we tried to stay normal and do some yard work and gardening, just some stuff to keep ourselves busy instead of just staying in our rooms the whole time. I pretty much slept the whole day. It's not like I had a job or anything. I was waiting for my application to see if it went through, if I got accepted to Messiah. At the beginning of summer, it was just it was nice. For someone as an introverted as me, it was sad not to really see or really get a goodbye to some of my high school friends I was really close with. But I got to stay at home and do almost nothing. I was doing martial arts at the time, and our teacher, we just call him Shifu, and so he was able to devise a plan to how we were still able to do classes for my martial arts. It was Kung Fu. And so he decided to go to this nearby park and have it outside where we could social distance ourselves and we didn't have to wear masks. It was so nice. We were able to have a nice outside workout with a bunch of cool guys and girls. And we were still able to continue our amazing community of martial artists. It was quite fun, and it kept me good. It get me out of the house and good exercise throughout those summer months. And then one day in the mail, I did get my application, or I got my acceptance letter from Messiah. So it should say acceptance package. It's not a whole thing. And so I don't check the mail. Usually my older brother goes and gets it. And so he got it. And so they were hiding it from me to surprise me when my parents got home from work. And I had already gotten a voicemail from someone from Messiah that said, "Hey, congratulations, you've been accepted. Go check the website to see some more information." And so I did, and I said, "Congratulations, Falcon, you're accepted." And I was so excited. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait until my parents get home and I'll tell them then. And so I got home, I had a thing all ready, and I said, "Guys, guess what? I got accepted." And they were all excited. And they were like, "You knew?" And they pulled out the acceptance package because they were going to surprise me with it. I was like, it was just such a funny situation. I was so nervous. It was the only college I really ever applied to, major one that wasn't a community one. I applied to Hack. That was kind of a guarantee. The day I accepted was a good day. I do have to say though, that I watched a lot of YouTube during that time. Getting through that those months was just like boring and just kind of just trying to do things. Especially when I wasn't doing anything, I was just kind of just in my room watching YouTube. And there was a select few YouTubers that I watched that were all comedy based. Kept my spirits up through those times. Coming up in August, going into the first semester of college, university, coming into Messiah, the first incoming year for Messiah University. That was a stressful time, getting packed up, ready to go. Like, man, I'm about to go to college. It's the same college that my older brother went to here, Messiah. Sent us the packing list of things that we need to pack up, things to bring, things not to bring. And it would be my first time staying longer than a week away from home. Or away from my parents, I should say. Being by myself, being independent in a sense. Finally get out of the house for a bit and be on my own. Try to grow up as an adult. And we had this, it was the first year when after everyone had left as well at Messiah, and we were the first incoming year after they had to send everyone home the previous, before summer, back in March. And so we had to sign up for a time when we could go. And so we signed up. It was weird because our parents, we couldn't have help too much. We had a time slot to have people show up and help us, but then they had to leave 45 minutes into it and left basically the students to take care of themselves and to unpack and settle in. We were on a time clock. I kind of got lucky. I kind of got there in the later evening, and everyone had already gone out to Kim Phipp's house to the first get-together of the freshmen. And I kind of got there late, and no one was there watching or keeping track, so I was able to stick out with my parents a little bit more, and they were able to help me settle in and unpack a bit. I was able to say my goodbyes. I didn't even meet my roommate yet. My roommate had already left to go to the meetup. And so I was a bit nervous on trying to find out where he was, and I had no idea that people were at there, so I was texting him the whole time. So he finally told me, so I was able to figure out that they were there, so I started my walk over. I got there, found him, met up, started chatting with him, and then relaxed on the green outside of Kim Phipp's house for a bit. Played a game of spike ball, and then threw a frisbee around with a few other people. At least my introvertness didn't stop me from getting to chat with some people. The great thing is we got to relax for like almost the whole week before and settle in before classes actually started up. Each day they had another event to help settle in the freshmen to try to get used to his life here on campus, and they were a real stickler for COVID regulations on campus at that time. Wow. Thinking back to that now, we were heavily regulated. Masks on at almost all time, even outside. Outside, you must always be 6 feet apart from people. Inside, 6 feet apart, always social distancing. I was finally able to settle in a bit. It was difficult. Still homesick for a while, but I was able to meet some cool people I was able to hang out with. My roommate, I was able to stick with him a bit, and he was more extroverted than I was, so he was able to talk with some people. And so I just kind of hung out with him and a few other guys. And then we met up with some girls, and that was cool, and we just got to hang out at one big group together. The difference between college and high school was so big, it took me a while to really realize it. For my own sake, I put it into an analogy of kindergarten, middle school, and high school were all we're all one baseball stadium, just first, second, and third base, and home base was literally just going home. And college now is like, you got these 4 years, totally different stadium. Back in high school and elementary school, middle school, I was very attached to my parents. Still am very attached, but I was always at home. I didn't strive to even get my license at the time. It was just, I had no need for more freedoms than what I had. I was so comfortable. And then coming here was forcibly being socially distanced by COVID, and a totally different schooling experience. When classes finally started up, first day of classes, always very simple, very relaxing and easy. Not doing any work at all, you're just looking at syllabuses, which was very nice. I was able to figure out, walk around campus and figure out where each building was. School year got rolling along. I eventually met up with teacher advisor for YBTV, or Yellow Breeches Television, a student-run news station here on campus. It wasn't a club back then, so he always asks and goes and asks for all the broadcasting media production majors, which was the major I was, or I still am. And he asked me if I would like to do it. And I was like, heck yeah, I would love to do that. So next Monday, come in, meeting Monday nights, start learning the studio, this place, learning the production and how to set up this news station and how to put together, build news. It's almost as if we're actually doing what guys out in the actual field do, guys and girls and people, what they do in the industry. It was, he was preparing us for the real world. EJ Insco, amazing teacher. He helping us find what we want to do and how to do it, and teaching us and giving us hands-on experience with the equipment and like how will we be doing things if we actually go in the news. I remember I would just like after a week or two of meeting him and doing a few shows, he eventually we talked for a bit and he sent me an email with 3 different internship opportunities right off the bat of where places to go after I graduate. And I was like, oh, okay, these look amazing. I was surprised. He was truly trying to help us and to grow and learn. One class truly somehow just got over my head. I thought it was going to be a piece of cake. I took a psychology class in high school, and so I tried taking it again in college. And so it was going well at the beginning, but then his tests started coming in, and I was not doing well at all. And so I started seeing my advisor, Dr. Ark, advised me that I'd go see the academic coaches at the Office of Accessibility. And so I did. And I set up a meeting with this academic coach, and he was a great guy. Marvel fan too. So we bonded almost immediately. And so he helped me figure out some options and eventually just came to the conclusion of I just need to drop the class. And so I did. So it wouldn't affect my final grade. And I finally got done with first semester of my freshman year at university. Going into winter break, got to go home. It's not like I hadn't been home at many times. I was so homesick. I basically went home every other weekend. Like I just wanted to be home and just relax and get off campus. The end of the year, end of 2020. Still thinking about all the memes, the videos, stuff off YouTube, the controversies, the November election, the 2020 election. Things were going in a direction. The world had changed. Quarantining was still going on. Cases were still on the rise, if I remember correctly. They were going back and forth, at least on campus. But I think there was a lot more talk about the COVID vaccine then. Of course, I don't think anyone was able to really get it until mid-2020 or 2021, early 2021. Conclusion of 2020. Year of fake news, a lot of it. Weird things going on. Senior year pretty much getting canceled. Students from all ages were getting sent home, not able to continue schooling. School closes, businesses closing. I remember seeing a live cam footage of Times Square in New York City, and it was deserted, and I never thought I would see that. Always had an image of that place being one of the busiest places ever. The fact that it was almost deserted was weird and strange. COVID-19, Corona, COVID, still very much on the rise near the end of 2020. At least things got a little bit brighter in 2021.